Everyone. Surprise. It's a surprise live stream. I was just getting some stuff ready for our game coming up this week, and so I thought I would just hop on Twitch and do a little teaser kind of preview, um, just to try to get everybody excited about what we have going on, because big news this week, this Thursday, when we go live. That's Thursday, January 18th, 2024. We're going to be starting a new D&D campaign. So this is another 5th ed campaign. This is our third campaign in Johnny's World of Vorla. The first one we played in person, so that one only exists in our memory. But the second one is I think all 85 or 87 episodes, however many we had, are up on YouTube. So that was the second campaign, the Vanishing, which we played over the course of several years, and streamed. I think every episode, or just about every episode. They're all on YouTube. So you can however many hundreds and hundreds of hours in preparation for Thursday, but we will be going live with. I think we're going to stream. I think we're planning a stream, even though it's not going to be. It's going to be a session 0, so there's going to be a lot of character creation stuff, working out relationships between characters, backgrounds, things about the world, stuff like that. But it's set, as you see the map here. It's set in this particular part of Isalia. Cloudforth is the main city here. We'll get more into the geography of this place on Thursday, but you can see there's the continent of Isalia. It's the 6 different kind of floating cities over the sea of Anya. So, but we'll I'm sure that more will come out about that. But we're starting in this particular one, Cloudforth. And we've got a little bit of history that we'll probably reference or talk about on Thursday, but I thought I'd kind of give a little rundown of some of the timeline of this realm. So, around 14,000 years before the campaign starts is the inception. They were these uninhabited islands in northwestern Anya, part of Vorla, until the Desirian, these large humanoid people from a mysterious demiplane we don't really know about, lifted these islands out of the waters, infused them with this energy that lifted them up out of the waters, and their descendants became the first inhabitants of the floating city. And so they were making this beautiful, wonderful land before they kind of became disillusioned and feeling isolated, and brought outsiders to Isalia for the first time, thinking that it would become this utopia. And the Desirian, the original inhabitants, and these early people brought in from other places in Vorla, created the first ancestors of who currently lives in Isalia when we start this campaign, about 10,000 years after the first introduction of people from elsewhere in Vorla. So, but this unification between people didn't really do what the Desirian hoped. Their disillusionment got worse, and they started longing for their home. And so, between 5,000 and 4,500 years before this campaign, the Desirians started to leave. The first Desirian left. The Isalians were saddened and saw them off, and it was a big deal. There was a lot of fanfare. And as the centuries passed, the Desirian kept leaving. Their numbers dwindled, and then when the last departed, it was barely even noticed. The Isalians had started looking to the waters below. So about 2,500 years ago, about 2,000 years after the last Desirian left, Isalia started to explore, started to establish trade with Sietris and Thrintra, these other parts of Vorla, and voyaging in the waters around them or below them. And then there were some conflicts that started. So about 3,800 years before the campaign, which is after the Exodus, after the Desirian had left, but before before a unified Isalia really came to be, there was a tyrannical leader, Nusembe, who tried to take over and but then a mutiny cast Nsembe out, and that war ended. And then about 300 years after that, so 3,500 years before this campaign to 3,300 years, so there was this couple hundred years of naval invasion, so mariners returning from their voyages. The governments really started to break down, but some heroes finally repelled these fleets, and laws and regimes grew stricter. Armies and navies became more powerful, and each one of these different cities or bulge within Assalia started to have tighter control. And then about 700 years after that, so 2,600 to 2,500 years before the campaign, there was the first true civil war. Assalia. The Seven Bulge had grown really large. There were kind of minor skirmishes, but then all-out war finally erupted. There were intermarried rulers across the different Bulge, and there was all this dynastic strife. All this ambition over who would kind of take power and gain possession of this carcanet of jewels known as Elerendi. And then the Elerendi was cast into the sea. All this destruction finally ended. This war ended, and then this other group, the Desirianists, arose. These influential Assalians decided that joint rule between the Seven Bulge was the only way forward. And so they became unified. They became sort of an oligarchy. They instituted some laws to prevent any one person from growing too powerful, or any organization, whether it's political or military or scientific. And then there were more restrictions on these armies and navies that had kind of grown out of control. So that led to some peace for a while. And then, like elsewhere, if you watch in the Vanishing, this affliction struck. Here it was called Oblivion, the Oblivion, which is where the campaign gets its name from. And I think we'll be dealing with the fallout, or the continued presence of that disease that we saw our previous characters in Vorla try to stop. They didn't succeed. They helped. They made things better than they would have been. They prevented the entire world from being destroyed and everybody from dying. But the Vanishing, now known here as the Oblivion, never truly went away. So where this campaign picks up will be, we'll talk about it, but it's quite a ways in the future from our previous campaign. And so, like I said, on Thursday this week, we'll have our first stream for that new campaign named Oblivion that takes place here in Assalia. So I encourage, if you want to come hang out with us, we'll be chatting character stuff. It's not going to be the most action-packed episode we've ever done, but we will be sort of laying the groundwork for this new campaign. So if you want to come hang out, we're happy to have you. And if you're in the chat, who knows, you might get the chance to influence some of our character creation, world creation, character development, background stuff that we'll be doing. Maybe you'll get to name something. I don't know. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But I'll be paying attention to the Twitch chat for the time that we'll be live on Thursday. So you can tune in there. As you see above here, you can follow us on... Yes, we have a Facebook page. I haven't looked at it in 3 years. I don't even know if anything happens on there. So probably don't go there. I don't know what you'll find. You can follow us on X. I don't know if I haven't looked, honestly, to see if Johnny's still posting there. He might start up again now that we're starting this campaign. And then all our videos end up on YouTube, Champions of Valenwood. But the best way to know when we're going live and what's happening is to follow us on Twitch. So if you follow our channel here, you can get notified when we go live. It's usually Thursdays, usually D&D's every other Thursday. It doesn't always quite work out that way, but we try to stick to that schedule as much as possible. So this week is the big kickoff of Oblivion. So we hope you'll come hang out with us and get ready to see where our new adventures take us in the third campaign that we'll play in Vorla. So we will see you all on Thursday, the 18th.